Hi, everybody. This is Steve from This Day in Metal. I am very excited to welcome Sabaton frontman Joakim Brodén to the program today. We're going to discuss Sabaton's The Tour to End All Tours concert film, as well as Sabaton's recent developments on their lengthy tour with Judas Priest. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining. Very excited to talk about the Tour to End All Tours concert film. Sabaton's renowned for high energy performances and an elaborate stage setup, to say the least. A tank by itself, flamethrowers, gas masks, you name it, Sabaton has come up with themed stage props and even costumes and uniforms for the shows. This is a great opportunity for fans to relive a Sabaton live show while attracting new fans too. So we're going to spend the majority of our conversation today talking about this exciting development. I guess what led you to record and release a concert film?
I don't think there was any plans to make it a concert film for the cinemas actually in the beginning, because then we would have been way more nervous. But we decided to record a couple of the shows on the tour. Stockholm was one, and then Netherlands. They're both a little bit later in the tour, so we would have time to get everything up and going. There's always a bit with a big production like that, even though you have pre-productions and everything, there's always a chance of what do you call it? Sorry for my language, fuck up at some point in the early in the tour. So the whole idea with putting this out on cinemas came later, which is good, I think, because I would have been way more nervous otherwise.
Interesting. So what led you to choose the Amsterdam show? I know I think it's a famous venue, but what made that show the one to go with?
Several reasons, actually. One, it was placed in the right place, as in our director knew a lot of people from the crew that he could get close to. He's Belgian, and Netherlands and Belgium are super close. So he could get a lot of people in there. The guy who did the audio was Dutch. The venue is large. It has all the infrastructure needed for it. You could have cranes and stuff. It's later in the tour, so we had time to tweak and perfect the show. And also, most importantly, Dutch people are a great crowd and they know English very, very well. So we're not going to have a too personalized show. I mean, if we're in Sweden now speaking Swedish all the time. If we would have been in Poland, which would have been a lovely show as well, because it's a great crowd, but I would have been using Polish phrases. We would have played songs that only are really relevant in Poland, maybe songs about Polish history that aren't on the set list otherwise. So UK would have been an option, but they were the first shows of the tour, and we didn't want to start off by recording before we got our, warmed up, really.
And this was one of the 2023 shows.
Yeah, I think that's in April, May, something like that. Just before we came.
Speak to the Ziggo Dome. With anything particular about that venue, just in general, like as far as an experience is concerned?
It's a lovely venue. I mean, there's enough space for everything. It's a modern venue as well. And great atmosphere. I think it's the largest indoor in the Netherlands they have, as far as I know, at least. And we had a sold-out show with 17,000 people, and the Dutch are a happy bunch. So we figured, if this goes wrong, it's on us.
Were there any particular songs you chose to include on the film that were not a part of that tour, or that were maybe unique to a leg of the tour?
No, actually, that's one of the reasons we chose that one, because we didn't have any localized songs. Because if we would have been in Czech Republic, we would have played a Czech song. In Germany, maybe there would be a different set list. This would be the most international standard set list as well, and most representative of the tour, I would say. Because, I mean, different countries will have it personalized. In Sweden, we would sing more songs in Swedish from the Carolus Rex album and stuff like that. And it wouldn't make sense for the rest of the world to see. So at the point when we're recording it, we know we're going to record it and hopefully release it if it doesn't suck. And but at that point, at that point, we didn't know in what format we were releasing it. Is it going to be a streaming or a live DVD or Blu-ray, I guess, these days? But then later in the project, this idea about cinema concert film came out, and then as I said before, I'm lucky I didn't know that when I went on stage that day.
it's showing all over. I mean, I'm based in New York, by New York City, and it's showing in a bunch of theaters in the city, but it's also showing all over the suburbs. A lot of theaters are showing this in the US, October 30th and 31st, which is very exciting. But a few weeks earlier, it was released in, I believe, Europe and Australia. But
Yeah, Europe got it last week, I think.
yeah, a huge presence. Like to see a metal band have the ability to have all these local theaters throughout New York, New Jersey. I mean, I'm just speaking to the local ones that I saw when looking up the showings. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, when Pat started talking about this, I thought, oh, cool. And then in my head, it like, yeah, it'll be a few in the US. You know, I was thinking between 250 to 400 globally, but I think as the last number I heard is we're probably going to break 1,500 theaters around the world.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Are there
and
any?
I really hope this works as well, not only for us, but it's a really good way, I think, to experience a concert. It's a more social way of doing it. Going to the cinema, you might meet new people there, and usually better sound and bigger screen than most people have at home.
That's what I was thinking. For people who can't make it to a show, or the shows end late, 11, 12 o'clock, by the time you get back from the show, this is a great opportunity. The shows, from what I'm seeing, 7, 8 o'clock performances. It's just a great
Yeah.
opportunity for people to see, even younger fans who want to come, who just can't make a show, but they can attend the theater. It's great.
Yeah, and two more things. I mean, one, if you are in a territory where you're not playing at all, maybe you're a metal fan in a country where we're not touring. Maybe also, I mean, we have a large production in Europe because there's a lot of people coming to the concerts. However, if we go to Latin America or Australia or the United States, we have production, but not on the same level because we can't put a 17,000 people production when we play in front of 2.5 to 4,000 people in North America. So it's a good way for people to experience that as well.
You were able to bring in a lot of that. I saw you guys at Hammerstein Ballroom in 2022. It was fall of, I think, October of 2022. You had a lot there. The stage setup was very impressive. It's very exciting.
Oh, thanks. We bring as much as we can, but it's like it's trickier with pyrotechnics in the United States, for example. It can be done, but after the accident with Great White, everything is a bit trickier here with those things. So,
understood.
And when we play smaller venues, you can't really use the big flamethrowers because we have the baby ones that are like 10 feet. They're not that impressive in a big place. You need the really big ones, Rammstein style.
Well, they have that. You could feel that from 100 yards away. Talk about the format. How you'd release it, whether it be stream or theater. I think there's also a vinyl, a concert, a film audio. It's released on vinyl, I believe.
Oh, this is embarrassing. I have no clue about that.
I'm pretty sure it's released. I'm pretty sure it's released on vinyl, or will be released on vinyl soon.
Oh, that's pretty cool, though. I like that, but not that I was aware of, actually.
Oh, it looked great. It's like a 3-colored vinyl, I believe. Red, white, and blue vinyl. I saw.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. I remember that. Chris and Pat were sitting, and guitar player and bass player were sitting and designing something like that, triple colored vinyl and artwork, like on the last leg of the US tour. In April, May, I think it was.
Oh yeah, because I was going to ask if there's any plans for maybe a digital, like a digital or CD, like audio release as a companion to the vinyl, but
not that I'm aware of. I know for a fact that people have been asking about streaming if we have any plans to release it, and at this moment there are no such plans. We wanted it to be a thing where people go to the cinemas, but for the future, I don't know actually.
How has the reaction been? You mentioned it was released in other countries and other continents about a week ago. How's the reaction been in those places?
Mixed, usually pretty good. Sweden and Germany went very, very well. So they are looking into adding more dates, for example. Other places, it didn't bomb anywhere, but it was it went okay in France, but not as good as we'd hoped. But on the other hand, we're a smaller band in France than we are in Germany and Sweden, so it would make sense. So overall, pretty damn good. I know people in Australia, there was, so many theaters who did it. So there were a lot of people in the same city watching it, but they were in so many different theaters.
Oh,
So it was like mostly the feedback we got from Australia is like, hey, we loved it. It was a half full hall, but we had 8 cinemas in Sydney who showed it, so they were all spread out. But the people were super happy because they actually thought it was a fun experience. They came into a movie theater and there's a bunch of metalheads there, and they got to know each other. Australians are a friendly bunch as well, so they probably made a lot of new friends that day.
it's really nice. There are a lot of good bands out there, but there are very few bands that put on the high energy, like the show that you guys put on. Very few bands could compare to that. Just the energy, the stage presence. There's also, and you in particular, as the one who communicates with the crowd the most, like there's a genuineness to the performance. And I think the crowd really reciprocates with that. Like there's a genuine appreciation of the fans, and the fans appreciate the band for bringing so much great music, and really just a commitment to metal and a commitment to high quality releases. Like every album you guys release is a high quality release. Like it's such a strong catalog, and it's cool to see that. And that's something I think that people who haven't seen you, they get to go to see the concert film. It really would incentivize people to go to the live shows too, because the live show, really the passion, it just comes from off the stage. You really feel it.
Oh, thank you. I'm very happy to hear that. But I think it's like we genuinely still love being on stage, and it might be a paradox. We sing about death and people dying. We sing about military history, but we genuinely like being on stage, and we don't take ourselves too serious. So yeah, to some people it might be a paradox that there's this happy retards on stage laughing and poking fun at each other, but it's our way of yeah, we love playing music. We couldn't stand there and try and look angry, and we're we've been doing this for long enough uh, to know how lucky we are to be able to do this, because it's obviously there's a certain amount of talent, or you have to be of a certain quality as a band to be able to make it. You also have to be willing to work really, really, really hard, and then continue to work really, really, really hard over again and again. But there's a third element to it as well, and that is luck. And we've had that. And I would
Really
say
interesting subject matter too.
Most bands have to have all of those three. Some of them have a lot of luck, but they're usually very short-lived. But most bands who made it have had all three, and there are many, many bands who have had the work ethic. They were good enough, but they just weren't lucky. So there's a lot of good people in the business who haven't been as lucky as us.
Are there any plans? Will you have any time to actually catch one of the film showings while you're on tour?
No, because it's showing in Europe while we're in America, and we leave America before it starts here.
It's just on it's just on the fringe of the time frame.
Yeah, we're flying home directly before just before it starts here. But we're actually looking into renting a theater in Dallas a few days from now to have a private screening.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe the possibility of that. Okay. But on the 2 questions about the tour. His first question would be, any particular highlights about the Judas Priest tours? You've been with them, I think, at two legs at least. How's it like?
Yeah, 2.5, I'd say. In 21, we were on the first leg where Richie's had this unfortunate accident with his heart. Issue. Yeah. So it's 2.5, I'd say, almost legs now. No, I don't know if I can choose one single one, but rather the whole experience in itself. Both Judas Priest and their crew, great people, super easy to deal with. Obviously, it's a little bit stiff in the beginning when you don't know each other, but that loosens up as soon as you show that you are able to go on stage on time and don't cause any trouble backstage. And I mean, I think it was 2011 the first time we supported Priest directly, so it's not like we're total strangers.
Wow. What any album release plans? Like War to End All Wars was released 2 years ago. Any plans for anything in the next year or two? You typically keep around
Yeah,
a 3-year time interval.
absolutely. I mean, we're working on new music already,
Oh, wow,
and
that's great.
pretty far along as well. It's too early to give any details, no, but as of now, but yeah, we will have great news regarding that within the next couple of months.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. Maybe happily surprising news. I wasn't sure one way or the other. And then any headlining tours, I guess, to coincide with that down the road, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly. We just have to figure out when we can finish up recordings and so sort out when we can start touring and plan all that, because these days you have to book things so long in advance. But we are looking at doing well. We are already announced Latin America next spring, so I doubt we can be able to do anything before that. But after next spring, we're looking at both getting out albums and hopefully, can't make any promises. I
Oh, of
shouldn't.
course.
I shouldn't make promises I can't guarantee. But after that, Europe, back to United States and Canada, I hope for sure. So for proper headlining, because we've been doing a bit supporting here now, which is awesome. But the last time we headlined here was 22. So would be good to come back in 25 or 26 to do some proper headlining.
What just speaking to the US tour a bit, do you have any particular favorite city or venue, or it could be more than one, obviously. Any places the band enjoys playing the most or has the strongest reaction from the fans there?
Yeah, there are several. I mean, there are places we love to be because we love the city. So everybody in the band is going to be happy if we have a day off in Chicago, for example, because
Yep.
it's a lovely place to be, good food options and stuff like that. Crowd is usually pretty good in most places. We can really tell a difference where we played a lot. So let's say we only played once in Maine. The crowd didn't go wild because most of them hadn't heard of us or seen us, you know. On the other hand, when we played on the last tour in Boston, it was a riot because we played a lot in Worcester and around that area. So I think it comes down to more how much we've been there before. We're in Austin right now, one of my favorite places actually, to be on a personal level. Good food here, Texas barbecue.
Oh, the Texas barbecue.
Yeah.
What as far as the set list generally is concerned, I know you have to put some of the classics in. How do you come up with a set list? I guess album tour. Like, how'd you come up with the current set list?
Current set list was more of a thing. What when supporting, it's a little bit different. You're trying to create a good vibe and atmosphere and a bit of a best of, or something that's representative of Sabaton. So we're not gonna do the weird ones or more experimental ones that we might put on a headline show. So I don't know, for good and bad. I mean, it might be good for gaining new fans, but it might be a little bit boring if it's too many support shows for a hardcore fan, because they've seen us play Resist and Bite too many times already, or whichever song they we play a lot they don't like. But it's a mix of what do we want to play, what will fly with the crowd, and also obviously these days you have statistics. We can see, like, get data from Spotify and see what are people in the United States actually listening to and enjoying. That helps a lot.
Yeah, the set, you guys get about an hour, I think, every night, which is
Yeah.
in some ways it feels like a co-headlining tour in a sense, because like you said, when you go to the shows, a lot of the people are there to see both bands equally, or like Judas Priest is a great band, Sabaton's a great band, and it's rare to get two bands of that caliber on the same tour together. And you can see the crowd is, everyone's there early. Everyone is there for the entire show. You do not have empty seats for an opener.
Nope.
They don't look at you that way. The energy's there from the start. It's 3 hours of high energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's super nice of Priest to give us 1 hour, because the normal thing with a single support band would be 45 minutes, I guess. But yeah, we've had the luck that we're familiar with them since many years. Their stage manager, Rick, has been stage managing us in the past, which also helps, I guess.
Crowd goes crazy for Ghost Division, and when they start off, it's intense from the beginning.
Yeah, no, I love that start of the show. It's a safety blanket for us as well. Everybody knows that in the band knows that song so well because it's like a flight. You know, if something goes wrong on a flight, it's usually at the start or at the end of a flight, and it's the same thing for a show. So if something were to go wrong, we can basically play Ghost Division without any sound in our ears. You know.
Of course. What any solo plans for you? You know, any solo record plans?
No, none whatsoever. I feel panic almost thinking about it. And writing songs for Sabaton keeps me more than enough busy. Um, I've I haven't written all of them, but I've been writing well over 90% of them, or alone or with someone else from the band or an external person. Uh, Actually, I think there's only two or three I haven't written the music for, and I'm involved in most of the lyrics as well. And luckily enough, sort of many times when I've written something that I thought this is not for Sabaton, but I've written it anyway, and then somebody from the band heard it, it's like, oh, that's a great song, we should do that. And that happened with like the song "The Final Solution," which is not really a super metal song. I mean, obviously at that point it wasn't about the Holocaust, the lyrics wasn't there, but the song is more of a, yeah, I don't know how to just describe it. It's more like something Rainbow or would release rather than, or
Yeah.
Blackmore's Night even, rather than a rock band. Same with the song "Ballad of Bull" from Heroes, was also a song I thought that's not for Sabaton at all. I just wrote it because I wanted. So, I mean, if I write something different, sometimes I do that because it's fun and I learn a lot by doing different things. But half of those songs go into Sabaton anyway. So
Oh, yeah.
if I were to make a solo album, it'll take me 20 years.
That's true. You have your avenue through Sabaton.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time. One more time for all the fans out there, the Sabaton concert film, the tour to end all tours, will be showing in the United States on October 30th and 31st. Those are the only dates scheduled as of now, so make sure that you get your tickets across the country. There are hundreds of theaters that'll be showing it. Make sure you get your tickets soon. I know in the big cities, I'm sure it's going to sell out, so I encourage you to do it now. And any final comments before I let you go?
Yeah, just thanks for having me, man.
No, thanks so much, and I look forward to catching you guys on tour again and seeing the film. I'll be seeing it on the 31st, actually, so I look forward to seeing it in about a week.
All right.
Great, thanks
See
so
you in the
much.
cinema then.
Great, enjoy the end of the tour. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.